Dynamo Team Archetype is a team archetype that revolves around Pulsing Field. All Dynamo characters are able to immediately deploy Pulsing Field at the start of the battle. Said characters can transfer Dynamo stacks to the Pulsing Field so it can be upgraded further. The main goal of using Dynamo teams is to deal as much damage as possible during Pulsing Field at level 3. Therefore, there are two aspects that we need to pay attention to, which are the damage source and the method to increase the level of the Pulsing Field. Before we continue further, let us briefly discuss Pulsing Field itself. Pulsing Field is a type of array. Unlike force fields, arrays cannot coexist with each other, meaning that you cannot use more than one array at once. Therefore, characters that can deploy different types of array will not synergize with Dynamo characters at all. For example, using Lopera or Getian in the team will not be effective. As an array, Pulsing Field buffs the damage output for all allies. The amount of buffs depends on the level of the Pulsing Field. Certainly, the higher the level of the Pulsing Field, the more the buffs provided to all allies. At level 1, Pulsing Field provides 15% damage bonus to all allies. At level 2, Pulsing Field provides 15% damage bonus and 25% incantation might to all allies. At level 3, Pulsing Field provides 15% damage bonus, 25% incantation might, and 35% ultimate might to all allies. To upgrade the level of the Pulsing Field, we need to transfer Dynamo to the Pulsing Field. The requirement to upgrade Pulsing Field to level 2 is 50 stacks of Dynamo, while the requirement to upgrade Pulsing Field to level 3 is 120 stacks of Dynamo. However, if Charon is in the team, upgrading Pulsing Field will skip level 2, and the requirement to upgrade Pulsing Field to level 3 reduces to 90 stacks of Dynamo. As of now, there are 3 main DPS in the Dynamo archetype, which are Lucy, Corvus, and Brume. This team archetype becomes significantly stronger due to the existence of Charon and Enigma together. They are required to be used if you want to play Dynamo teams. If they are replaced, the efficiency and effectiveness of your Dynamo teams will significantly decrease. Efficiency relates to how many rounds you need to upgrade Pulsing Field level 1 to level 3, while effectiveness relates to the damage output of the team, as longer Pulsing Field cycle is also equal to less damage output since you cannot frequently reach Pulsing Field level 3, which provides significantly more buffs. Lucy is mainly used for her area of effect damage output. She can frequently cast area of effect follow-up attacks if there are many low HP mobs where Lucy's team can kill. Corvus is mainly used for her single target damage output in Main's Bulletin, as she needs longer rounds to ramp up her damage in order to be really powerful. Brume is mainly used for general battles that mainly need single target damage, while she can also do area of effect damage. Let us start with Lucy. There are 2 main aspects that you need to pay attention to when using Lucy, which are her reinforced skills and her area of effect follow-up attacks. Her skills can be advanced and reinforced so that they will become more powerful. All of her skills, including her regular incantations, ultimate, and follow-up attacks, can be reinforced. To reinforce her skills, the team needs to transfer 20 stacks of Dynamo to the Pulsing Field. Once that happens, she is able to reinforce one of her skills at the start of the next round. On the other hand, her follow-up attack, Conservation of Energy, is a follow-up attack that targets all enemies. It can be triggered immediately after an enemy dies. She can do this twice per round. Additionally, using her ultimate also triggers her follow-up attack once. Before using her follow-up attacks, she will consume 10 stacks of Dynamo to increase the penetration rate of the attack by 50%. After her follow-up attack is reinforced, the attack will deal additional 50% reality damage to enemies with less than 50% HP. Additionally, Her follow-up attack will now ignore dodge, reflect, and repose. Her ultimate, a step forward, which will let her cast her follow-up attack, also provides many buffs. For 2 rounds, all of her attacks will be considered as stronger afflatus, so she gains a 10% damage multiplier bonus. She also gains data iteration, which increases her attack by 4%. Data iteration can be stacked up to 5 times and can also be obtained when an enemy is defeated. Furthermore, she will load 2 stacks of charged ammunition, which will let her gain 5 stacks of Dynamo before attacking. Lucy will also gain a force field for 2 rounds, which increases the stronger afflatus damage multiplier by 10% to other allies. If her ultimate is reinforced, her charged ammunition will be upgraded to overcharged ammunition, which lets her gain 10 stacks of Dynamo instead before attacking. Lucy also gains 1 Moxie and transfers 10 stacks of Dynamo to the pulsing field if she uses her reinforced ultimate. As a Dynamo character, Lucy is capable of gaining and transferring Dynamo stacks. As mentioned in the previous section, Lucy can gain charged ammunition or overcharged ammunition after using her ultimate, which will let her gain 5 or 10 stacks of Dynamo before attacking. She can also gain Dynamo passively. Whenever she gains 1 Moxie, she gains 2 stacks of Dynamo. And whenever allies gain 1 Moxie or 1 Eureka, she gains 1 stack of Dynamo. On the other hand, when using her reinforced first incantation, reinforced second incantation, and reinforced ultimate, she will transfer 10 stacks of Dynamo to the pulsing field. The thing that needs to be noted when playing with Lucy's team is to frequently use her skills, especially during pulsing field level 3. Ideally, there should be many weak enemies that your team can easily kill, so she can frequently cast her follow-up attacks every round. She should also cast her ultimate at least once during pulsing field level 3, as the buffs from her ultimate only last for 2 rounds. With Lucy in the team, the pulsing field cycle should be 1-3-3. The second main DPS for the Dynamo archetype we will talk about next is Corvus. The main aspect that you need to pay attention to when using Corvus is her single target follow-up attack. Her follow-up attack benefits from ultimate might at a 100% rate. There are 2 ways to trigger her follow-up attacks, either by using her ultimate or automatically at the end of the round if she is in her channel state. The scaling for her follow-up attack damage is extremely high, but she needs many rounds to ramp up her self-buff, which makes her rather ineffective outside of mains bulletin, especially in battles that only need a few rounds. To get Corvus into her channel state, she needs to use her second incantation, Rosy Cracks. By using her second incantation, she will be in a channel state for 2 rounds. Furthermore, by using her channel incantation repeatedly, the duration of her channel state will be extended. Now let us continue to talk about the main aspect of Corvus, which is her follow-up attack, Sew It All Out. The damage of her follow-up attack can increase the more Electric Arc and Flickering Arc stacks Corvus has. Therefore, we need to understand how to get them. Electric Arc is a self-buff that increases Corvus attack by 0.3% per stack, up to 60 stacks. Electric Arc can be obtained when Corvus uses her first incantation and second incantation. She gains 2, 4, or 8 stacks of Electric Arc every time she uses her incantation skill depending on its rank. Furthermore, her second incantation also inflicts welding, which decreases the enemy's mental defense by 1% per mental attack and can be stacked up to 50 times. When an enemy with welding debuff is attacked, Corvus will gain 1 or 2 stacks of Electric Arc, depending on whether the attack is Reality type or Mental type respectively. Flickering Arc is also similar to Electric Arc. It is a self-buff that increases Corvus attack by 0.3% per stack, up to 240 stacks. Flickering Arc is obtained every time when Pulsing Field level 3 ends, and all of the electric arcs she owns at the time will be converted to Flickering Arc. Corvus can also inflict a debuff called Breaking Point via her first incantation, second incantation, and ultimate. Her follow-up attacks gain additional buffs if the enemy has Breaking Point debuff. When the Pulsing Field is at level 3, before casting her follow-up attack, Breaking Point debuff will be consumed, and her follow-up attack gains 5% increased mental damage and 0.3% increased ultimate might rate per 1 stack of Electric Arc and per 1 stack of Flickering Arc. Corvus follow-up attacks also scale with the level of the Pulsing Field. When Pulsing Field is at level 3, her follow-up attack deals additional 600% mental damage. As a Dynamo character, Corvus is capable of gaining and transferring Dynamo stacks. Every time Corvus actively uses her skills, she gains 10 stacks of Dynamo. After casting her follow-up attack, she will transfer 20 stacks of Dynamo to the Pulsing Field. The first thing that needs to be noted when playing with Corvus Team is to accumulate as many Electric Arc and Flickering Arc stacks as possible while she is in her channel state every single round. As mentioned in the previous section, the damage output of her follow-up attacks mainly scales with the amount of Electric Arc and Flickering Arc stacks she owns. Additionally, since she can also cast her follow-up attacks when she is in her channel state, other than using her ultimate, she needs to use her second incantation once in a while. Fortunately, since the duration of her channel state can be extended when the skill is used repeatedly, missing once or twice due to bad RNG is alright. Another thing that needs to be noted when playing with Corvus Team is her Moxie. When Pulsing Field reaches level 3, Corvus immediately gains 3 Moxie and her max Moxie increases to 10. Due to this, we can make it so that Corvus can spam ultimate every single round after Pulsing Field reaches level 3 for the first time. Therefore, her playstyle is to ensure she can use her ultimate every round by counting the amount of Moxie she can gain in a round. Additionally, since she can use her ultimate every single round, the Pulsing Field cycle will inevitably be 1-3-3 after the first cycle. However, if you do not want to be restricted to needing to use ultimate every round, you can just do 1-1-3-3 cycle, which has a more flexible rotation. Our final main DPS for the Dynamo archetype is none other than Brume. The main aspect that you need to pay attention to when using Brume is her follow-up attack. She can do single target follow-up attacks and area of effect follow-up attacks. Similar to Corvus, Brume's follow-up attack also benefits from ultimate might at 100% rate. Additionally, Brume can only cast her follow-up attacks if she is in her channel state. To get Brume into her channel state, she needs to use her first incantation. Her first incantation is unique as it consists of 2 types of skills that you can choose in the battle, which are channel or attack. The one that we will discuss right now is her channel incantation, Calculated Path. By using her channel incantation, she will be in her channel state for 1 round. However, unlike Corvus, Brume cannot extend her channel state by repeatedly using her channel incantation, so she needs to use her channel incantation every single round. Now let us talk about her follow-up attacks. She can do single target follow-up attacks and area of effect follow-up attacks. The damage of her single target follow-up attack, Cost of the Roadside View, scales with the amount of Thermoelectric conversion stacks she owns. She will consume all Thermoelectric conversion stacks at the end of the round and cast her follow-up attacks if she is in her channel state. Therefore, it is important to know where the sources for Thermoelectric conversion are. Using her channel and buff incantations let her gain 10, 15 or 20 stacks of Thermoelectric conversion depending on the incantation rank. Using her ultimate also let her gain 10 stacks of Thermoelectric conversion. At the start of every round, she also gains 5 stacks of Thermoelectric conversion. Additionally, when the team transfers 20 stacks of Dynamo to the Pulsing Field, Brume will gain 5 stacks of Thermoelectric conversion. For every 3 stacks of burn inflicted to the enemies, she will also gain 2 stacks of Thermoelectric conversion. While the other Dynamo characters cannot inflict burn, Brume is able to inflict 3 stacks of burn via follow-up attack and 10 stacks of burn via ultimate. Furthermore, she will also gain 20 stacks of Thermoelectric conversion when Pulsing Field reaches level 3. For every 10 stacks of Thermoelectric conversion consumed during her channel state, Brume's single target follow-up attack will deal additional mental damage, and for every 20 stacks of Thermoelectric conversion consumed, she will cast additional follow-up attacks up to 2 times, which also deal additional mental damage. Other than Thermoelectric conversion, the damage of her follow-up attack also scales with the level of the Pulsing Field. When Pulsing Field is at level 3, her single target follow-up attacks will deal additional 400% mental damage. Additionally, if Brume consumes at least 40 stacks of Thermoelectric conversion, she will also cast an area of effect follow-up attack End of the Bride. Furthermore, for every 10 stacks of Thermoelectric conversion consumed after the initial 40 stacks, her area of effect follow-up attack will deal additional mental damage as well. So, at most, Brume can cast 3 single target follow-up attacks and 1 area of effect follow-up attack in a single round. As a Dynamo character, Brume is capable of gaining and transferring Dynamo stacks. At the start of the battle, Brume will gain 10 stacks of Dynamo. At the end of every round, she will also gain 5 stacks of Dynamo. She can transfer 15 stacks of Dynamo at the end of every round automatically. The thing that needs to be noted when playing with Brume team is to accumulate as many Thermoelectric conversion stacks as possible while she is in her channel state every single round. As mentioned in the previous section, the damage output of her follow-up attacks mainly scales with the amount of Thermoelectric conversion stacks he owns. Additionally, since she can also only cast her follow-up attacks when she is in her channel state, she needs to use her channel incantation every single round, as her channel state only lasts for a single round. She should also use her second incantation every round if possible, even though the buffs provided from her second incantation last for 2 rounds and can be extended by 1 round after using ultimate. This is because Brume will also gain Thermoelectric conversion stacks when using her second incantation. On the other hand, you can use her attack incantation once in a while, as the buff provided, Crystalline Discharge, lasts for 3 rounds. Additionally, Brume also gains Shade buff at the start of the battle for 3 rounds, plus 1 round when Pulsing Field reaches level 3, so she has many leeways for that. The Pulsing Field cycle will be 1133 after the first cycle. The next core character we will be discussing is none other than Charon. His main aspect is his capability to significantly reduce the required amount of Dynamo for Pulsing Field to be upgraded to level 3, while also skipping level 2 immediately. Additionally, he can also deal a decent amount of damage as a support. Charon immediately gains Amplified Surge at the start of the battle, which decreases the amount of Dynamo stacks required to upgrade Pulsing Field to level 3 to 90 stacks of Dynamo only instead of the usual 120 stacks. Furthermore, Pulsing Field no longer can be upgraded to level 2, so Pulsing Field at level 1 can immediately be upgraded to level 3. Additionally, when Pulsing Field reaches level 3, Charon provides 1 stack of Simplified Ritual to himself and the ally in front of him, which lets them not use consumed action points when casting ultimate once. He also gains 50% penetration rate when Pulsing Field is at level 3, increasing his damage output by quite a lot. As a support, Charon can increase the damage output of the team by providing buffs and debuffs. His buffs, Peaceful Soul, can be provided via his second incantation, which provides critical rate and access conversion to all allies. On the other hand, his debuffs, Fear of Death can be provided via his first incantation and also passively via his Insight, which decreases the critical defense and increases damage taken to the enemies. Furthermore, enemies with his debuffs can immediately be taken out if their HP is below 20% and their current HP is below 4000% of Charon's attack stats. His buffs and debuffs can be amplified further if he has Consternation stacks. Consternation increases his penetration rate by 5% per stack, which can be stacked up to 10 times. To gain Consternation, Charon has to gain 40 stacks of Shockwave first. Charon can obtain Shockwave via many ways. He immediately gains 50 stacks of Shockwave at the start of the battle, gains 1 stack of Shockwave per every access Dynamo during Pulsing Field level 3 and every access Moxie from allies, 20 or 40 stacks of Shockwave when an enemy or ally die, and 20, 30 or 50 stacks of Shockwave every time he uses his first incantation, second incantation, or ultimate, depending on the incantation rank. Furthermore, Charon can do follow-up attacks Day of Remorse and deal a decent amount of damage due to his high penetration rate. After using his ultimate, Charon will be in the channel state, which can let him cast a follow-up attack at the end of the round. The damage of his follow-up attack scales with the amount of Consternation stacks he has and ultimate might. His follow-up attack consumes Shockwave after the first cast, and when he runs out of Shockwave stacks, Charon will not be in his channel state anymore. If he uses his ultimate again while he is still in his channel state, the trigger consumption required will be resetted to 0. As a Dynamo character, Charon is capable of gaining and transferring Dynamo stacks. At the start of the battle, Charon will gain 20 stacks of Dynamo. Additionally, after he casts his follow-up attack, he gains 1 stack of Dynamo per every 5 stacks of Shockwave he owns. He can transfer 20 stacks of Dynamo at the end of every round automatically. The thing that needs to be noted when using Charon is to keep him in his channel state. This is very easy because he gains 4 Moxie at the start of the battle, so he simply needs to use his second incantation and he will be able to cast his ultimate in the next round. Due to him being able to gain Moxie passively every time he casts his follow-up attack, he does not need to use any incantations at all after the first round. This is especially true since the duration of his buff and debuff will automatically be extended every time Charon casts his follow-up attack. He does need a lot of Shockwave stacks, but he can gain a lot just by standing in the battlefield with the help of other allies. The last core character we will discuss is Enigma. Enigma is a sustained character for the Dynamo archetype, who also provides ample support to increase allies' damage output. His main aspects are his Bastion and his Ciphertext, and he is able to cast follow-up attacks as well. Let us talk about his first main aspect, Bastion. As a sustain, Enigma provides Bastion, which functionally acts like shields. It absorbs damage that is dealt by the enemies. Bastion has 4 controlled immunity every round. Furthermore, it has damage taken reduction, which significantly improves the survivability of the team. His ultimate is also able to dispel debuffs inflicted on allies. Bastion can be triggered at the start of the battle, also when Enigma uses his second incantation and follow-up attack. Enigma's follow-up attack, Closed Loop Principle, can be triggered every time he gains 5 stacks of Loop Chain. Loop Chain can be obtained every time an ally actively takes an action, an ally is attacked, at the end of the round, and Enigma uses his ultimate. The second main aspect is his Ciphertext. Ciphertext functionally acts like Dynamo, which means Ciphertext can be transferred to the pulsing field to increase its level. Furthermore, using his ultimate grants him Cypher Machine for 2 rounds, which provides 20% critical damage and 2% damage bonus per every stack of Ciphertext removed before using ultimate to all allies. The counter for the removal of Ciphertext stacks will be reset after he uses his ultimate. Ciphertext can be obtained via many ways. Enigma will grant 5 stacks of Ciphertext immediately at the start of the battle to all allies. First incantation grants 3, 4 or 5 stacks of Ciphertext depending on the incantation rank. Casting follow-up attack grants 5 stacks of Ciphertext to all allies. During Pulsing Field at level 3, Enigma will also grant 3 stacks of Ciphertext to all allies at the start of the round. As a Dynamo character, Enigma is capable of gaining and transferring Dynamo stacks. At the start of the battle, Enigma will gain 10 stacks of Dynamo. Casting his first or second incantation grants him 10 stacks of Dynamo as well, while casting his follow-up attack grants him 5 stacks of Dynamo. He can transfer 10 stacks of Dynamo at the end of every round automatically. Furthermore, with Enigma in the team, all allies' Dynamo stack limits are expanded by 20 stacks. The thing that needs to be noted when using Enigma is to cast his follow-up attack frequently while buffing all allies with his Cypher machine. By casting his follow-up attack frequently, Enigma gains Moxie and Ciphertext, which helps Pulsing Field cycle a lot. Similar to Charon, he can gain Moxie passively as well. Other than casting follow-up attack, Enigma also gains Moxie when Pulsing Field reaches level 3. As long as he can use his ultimate once every Pulsing Field cycle during Pulsing Field level 3, he does not need to use any of his incantations at all. After one main DPS, Charon and Enigma, we still have one remaining slot in the team. This slot is reserved for a support that can increase the damage output of our main DPS further. Examples of the most common support for this slot are Ulrich and Flutterpage. As a sub-DPS support, Ulrich can increase the damage output of the team when he is in his channel state via first and second incantation. First incantation inflicts damage taken increase, while second incantation provides ultimate might to all allies. As a Dynamo character, Ulrich is capable of gaining and transferring Dynamo stacks. He gains 20 stacks of Dynamo at the start of the battle, 5 stacks of Dynamo at the end of every round, 30 stacks of Dynamo when using ultimate, and 5 stacks of Dynamo for every time Dynamo is transferred by the team. On the other hand, Ulrich can transfer 10 stacks of Dynamo at the end of every round, 5 stacks of Dynamo when using first or second incantation, and 30 stacks of Dynamo when using ultimate. The thing that needs to be noted when using Ulrich is to have him at channel state. This is very easy to do as his channel state from using his first and second incantation lasts for 3 rounds. By using his first and second incantation once every Pulsing Field cycle, he is guaranteed to be able to cast ultimate once, as he will gain 3 Moxie when Pulsing Field reaches level 3. Of course, while his damage output will increase if he uses his incantation skills more than once, we usually do not have enough action points to prioritize Ulrich. His role in the Dynamo teams is not as impactful as his role in the Dynamo Wheel archetype, where the main DPS is ultimate spam character, so he is replaceable with any support that can buff the damage output of our Dynamo main DPS. Now let us briefly talk about Flutterpage. Flutterpage has a force field which significantly buffs the damage output of all follow-up attacks. Fortunately, the main damage source of all main DPS of the Dynamo archetype is their follow-up attack. Furthermore, Flutterpage synergizes really well with Corvus due to her second incantation, Cotton Kite, providing an extra action point so that Corvus can move or merge one more time in a single round to gain more Moxie. With Flutterpage, Corvus can cast ultimate 3 rounds in a row more easily. The thing that needs to be noted when using Flutterpage is maintaining her force field at the highest level and her extra action point. While she is mainly used with Corvus, you can use her with Lucy and Brume as well. As long as she can maintain her highest level of force field, she does not need to use her first incantation to gain more gust stacks, which is usually the case as the Dynamo teams frequently do follow-up attacks. Furthermore, if possible, maintain her extra action points so that Corvus can use more action points. It is slightly harder to do so if Flutterpage is only at P0, but at P1, she becomes much better at her role of providing Corvus more action points. During the first round of Pulsing Field level 3, the extra action points should ideally be active. As for the Psychubes, Lucy uses her own Psychube. Corvus uses Flutterpage Psychube, and Brume also uses Flutterpage Psychube. These Psychubes increase their damage output the most. On the other hand, for the support characters, Charon uses his own Psychubes, Enigma uses either his own Psychube or Loperai Psychube depending on the team formation, Flutterpage uses Kiparina Psychube, and Ulrich uses either Flutterpage Psychube or Loperai Psychube depending on the team formation. Usually, if you are using either Corvus or Brume in the team, and also using Ulrich will use Loperai Psychube and Enigma will use his own Psychube. However, if you are using Lucy, Ulrich will use Flutterpage Psychube and Enigma will use Loperai Psychube. Before talking about the rotation for Lucy's team, let us talk about the team formation first. Put Enigma in the first slot of the team as we want to use Loperai Psychube on him. This is because the ownership of Pulsing Field belongs to the character in the first slot, and Loperai Psychube only works with characters that own the array in the battlefield. This is just a preference, but I put Charon behind Enigma so that Enigma will gain simplified ritual. Since Enigma will only use his ultimate once every Pulsing Field cycle at Pulsing Field level 3, unlike the main DPS of the Dynamo Archetype, might as well make his ultimate not consume any action point during Pulsing Field level 3 for the rotation. Most people put Charon behind their main DPS, and that is also okay. However, all of my rotations have Enigma in front of Charon in mind, so please adjust the rotation if you put your main DPS in front of Charon. Anyways, since Enigma is using Loperai Psychube, we should use Flutterpage Psychube on Ulrich to increase his damage output. At the start of the battle, you will be prompted to reinforce one of Lucy's skills. Please select either her first incantation or second incantation, because we want to immediately use one of her reinforced incantation skills to transfer Dynamo in the Pulsing Field in the first round. Without doing so, the Pulsing Field cycle will become 1133, so please keep that in mind. Since Charon only needs to use one incantation and Ulrich only needs to use 2, proceed to use Charon's second incantation and both of Ulrich's incantations in the first round, while also using Lucy's reinforced incantation. With this setup, both Charon and Ulrich will be able to cast ultimate in the next round. Pulsing Field will also reach level 3. In the second round, please proceed to use the available ultimate in the spell dock. Lucy needs to use her ultimate in the next round, which is the last round of Pulsing Field level 3. Therefore, the remaining action points should be used to merge and use her incantation so that she will have 5 Moxie at the end of the round. The third round is a flexible round. Enigma and Lucy's ultimate should be ready during this round, so please proceed to use both of their ultimate. For the remaining action points, you can either use Enigma or Lucy's incantations. For burst damage, you can proceed to use all Lucy's available incantations in the spell dock, which may let you use her ultimate immediately in the next cycle when Pulsing Field reaches level 3. You can also use Enigma's first incantation to gain Ciphertext. In the fourth round, we need to build up both Ulrich and Lucy. As usual, Ulrich needs to use both of his incantations so that his ultimate is ready in the next round. For the remaining action points, you can either use Lucy's incantations or Enigma's first incantation. But please keep in mind that Lucy needs to use her ultimate at least once during Pulsing Field level 3, so please ensure Lucy can gain enough Moxie. In the fifth round, please proceed to use all available ultimate in the spell dock. If Lucy's ultimate is available during this round, please proceed to use her ultimate after using others' ultimate. Otherwise, please use her incantation skill so that she can have 5 Moxie at the end of this round. In the sixth round, Lucy's ultimate should be ready, so please proceed to use her ultimate. For the remaining action points, it is similar during the third round. You can either use Lucy or Ulrich's incantations. You can also use Enigma's first incantation for his Ciphertext as well. For the 7th round and onwards, simply repeat the 4th, 5th, and 6th round of the rotation. If you are able to use Ulrich's ultimate during the 4th round, please try to get Ulrich's ultimate in the 6th round to maximize the damage's output. The pulsing field cycle will always be 1-3-3 as long as Lucy uses her reinforced incantations during the round where pulsing field is at level 1. This rotation will also work if you replace Ulrich with Flutterpage. Before talking about the rotation for Corvus Team, let us talk about the team formation first. As usual, put Enigma in the first slot of the team, as we want to use Lopera Psychube on him. With the same reasoning I have explained in the previous part, put Charon behind Enigma. Instead of Ulrich, I will be using Flutterpage, since Corvus benefits a lot from Flutterpage support. During the first pulsing field cycle, it is impossible to do 1-3-3 cycle immediately, as we are using Flutterpage instead of Ulrich. This is alright, because Corvus will not be able to use her ultimate in the 2nd round anyways. Please proceed to use Charon's 2nd incantation and Flutterpage's 2nd incantation. For the remaining action points, please use Corvus incantation prioritizing her 2nd incantation. If possible, please merge 2 of Corvus incantations and use her 2nd incantation. Otherwise, just use her 2nd incantation then her 1st incantation. At the end of the round, Corvus will either have 2 or 3 Moxie depending on whether you merge her incantations or not. In the 2nd round, Charon's ultimate should be ready. Please proceed to use his ultimate. If your Flutterpage is P1 or higher, you can skip using her 2nd incantation. Otherwise, please use her 2nd incantation. If you merge Corvus incantations during the 1st round, you can simply use her 2nd and 1st incantation. Otherwise, you will have to either move or use an additional incantation. If you have extra action points, you can use Flutterpage's 1st incantation to gain more stacks of gas so that her force field can reach the highest level quicker. At the end of the round, Corvus will have 5 Moxie. In the 3rd round, Pulsing Field will reach level 3, and Corvus will gain 3 Moxie and 5 extra Moxie limits. Therefore, at the start of this round, Corvus will have 8 Moxie. Starting from this round, our goal is to spam Corvus ultimate every single round, so most action points will be consumed by Corvus to gain Moxie. Please proceed to use all available ultimate and merge Corvus incantations twice. For the remaining action points, please proceed to use her 2nd and 1st incantation. At the end of the round, Corvus will have 9 Moxie. In the 4th round, Corvus' ultimate should be ready, so please proceed to use her ultimate again. During this round, Corvus does not need to merge her incantations, so please just use her 2nd and 1st incantation. For the remaining action point, please proceed to use Flutterpage's 2nd incantation to gain an extra action point in the next round. However, if your Flutterpage is P0, you can move or merge Corvus incantations instead. At the end of the round, she will have 6 Moxie, 7 or 8 Moxie if you have moved or merged Corvus incantations. In the 5th round, both Charon and Flutterpage's ultimate should be ready. Please proceed to use their ultimate before using Corvus' ultimate. Corvus needs to use ultimate during this round so that the pulsing field cycle will be 1-3-3. Otherwise, if you are not able to do so, the cycle will be 1-1-3-3. For the remaining action points, please proceed to merge and use her incantations. However, if your Flutterpage is P0, please also proceed to use her 2nd incantation instead of her ultimate so that the team will gain an extra action point in the next round. You can only use both of her ultimate and 2nd incantation if Corvus moved or merged her incantation in the previous round. At the end of the round, Corvus will have 5 Moxie. From the 6th round and onwards, simply repeat the 3rd, 4th and 5th round of the rotation. This rotation will also work with Ulrich or Anjonala. Just pay attention to Corvus Moxie so that she can cast her ultimate every single round starting when Pulsing Field reaches level 3 for the first time. If you do not want to count Corvus Moxie, please proceed to do 1133 Pulsing Field cycle instead, especially if your Flutterpage is only P0, as the rotation will become more comfortable. Before talking about the rotation for Brume's team, let us talk about the team formation first. Ulrich cannot use Flutterpage Psychube since it is being used by Brume, so we should use Lopera Psychube on him. Therefore, Ulrich needs to be put in the first slot of the team. Enigma can no longer use Lopera Psychube this way, so he should use his own Psychube instead. With the same reasoning I have explained in the previous part, put Charon behind Enigma. In the first round, since we want Brume to be in her channel state immediately, she needs to use her channel incantation. She should also use her second incantation to gain buffs and Thermoelectric conversion. As per usual, please proceed to use Charon's second incantation and one of Ulrich's incantations. We cannot use both of Ulrich's incantations because we do not have enough action points to do so. We want to prioritize Brume instead of Ulrich. In the second round, Pulsing Field will reach level 3. Please proceed to use all available ultimate while also remembering to use both of Brume's incantations. One remaining action point should be used by Ulrich so that he can cast ultimate in the next round. The third round is also similar to the second round. Please proceed to use all available ultimate and both of Brume's incantations. In the fourth round, Pulsing Field will return to level 1. Starting from this round, the Pulsing Field cycle will be 1133. Please proceed to use all available ultimate, Brume's incantations, and one of Ulrich's incantations. In the fifth round, Crystalline Discharge runs out, so we need to use Brume's attack incantation as well in this round. Otherwise, it is similar to that of the fourth round. However, if Ulrich already uses both of his incantations, which will happen after this cycle, please proceed to use Brume's second incantation instead. In the sixth round, Pulsing Field returns to level 3. Please proceed to use all available ultimate in the spell dock, then both of Brume's incantations. The seventh round is similar to that of the fourth round. From the 8th round and onwards, simply repeat the 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th round of the rotation. What you need to keep in mind is that Brume needs to use both of her incantations every single round. This is to ensure Brume will always cast follow-up attacks every round. Ideally, you should also use Brume's attack incantation when Crystalline Discharge runs out, but you can skip that if you have bad RNG. This rotation will also work with Flutterpage or Anjonala replacing Ulrich. Without further ado, here are the battle showcases for the Dynamo team archetype.
There is time still to avoid this fate. Doom pervades within.
Calculating, simulating the
Charging.
In memory of the dead.
See how they oscillate. An accurate reading.
Eliminate target.
Just across much of
There is no end.
about this world.
Loading. Charging. Loading.
Befreie dich von den Grenzen des Geistes.
Sacrifice holds meaning only in its morning. Life is delicate and easily lost.
Through Hypatia's sacrifice, we have reached the stars.
Faraday's miracle. Target confirmed. Aim and shoot. Circuits functioning properly.
Simulating the Chaldean order, calculating the Arabic parts.
I, robot, child of science.
A message from the stars. Who charts the stars' orbits? About this world,
Charging. Loading. Charging.
Through Hypatia's sacrifice, we have reached the stars.
Target confirmed. Aim and shoot. The light that illuminates all.
Just across but
There is no end to this misery.
simulating the Chaldean.
Loading. Charging.
Befreie dich von den Grenzen des Geistes.
Sacrifice holds meaning only in its morning. Life is delicate and easily lost.
Decrypt the cosmos. An adequate sample.
Eliminate target. Barrage.
About this world.
Circuits functioning charging. Loading.
Through Hypatia's sacrifice, we have reached the stars.
I, robot, child of science. Target confirmed. Aim and shoot.
Practice validates theory.
The dead complete.
All right. Who's who and where's...
Schedule confirmed.
Will not let yourself go.
There, take a primrose.
Follow the plan.
There is no end to this misery.
Living Scarecrow, actual status.
It stinks. Schedule confirmed.
Validator.
Sacrifice holds meaning only in its morning. Life is delicate and easily lost. Schmerz betrifft
Boy,
Figuren
there's
nicht.
a lesson for you. How do you like that? Uh-huh. The spike's
Expedite.
fallen off.
Right on target.
Uploaded information.
How do you like that? Huh?
Just a crossword to solve.
The clock is ticking. Schedule confirmed.
Befreie dich von den Grenzen des Geistes.
Like a lighter. Anyone feeling cold?
Signal confirmed. Ready to depart. All is planned. In my sight. The clock is ticking. Schedule confirmed. It stings.
Hold on. Who's who?
Signal
What else?
confirmed. Ready to depart. Expedite. Customized bullets.
Get out of you! What are you doing?
Violent disassembly.
There is no end to this misery. There is no end.
Oh, is this one for you?
The clock is ticking. It stings. Schedule confirmed.
Sacrifice holds meaning only in its morning. Life is delicate and easily lost.
Spring will come, and the flowers will bloom again.
Signal confirmed. Ready to depart. All is planned. Right on target.
What are you doing?
Just a crossword to solve.
The clock is ticking. Schedule confirmed. It stings.
Befreie dich von den Grenzen des Geistes.
Signal confirmed. Ready to depart. Follow the plan. In my sight.
UNOVA awaits within.
The clock is ticking. It stings. Schedule confirmed.
But science even.
Signal confirmed. Ready to depart. All is planned. Customized bullets.
Will you have time for a nap later?
UNOVA awaits.
Give it a little water. It is heat-treated. No.
Simulating the Chaldean order.
Do not let yourself go.
Purge the impurities. When it's not enough up.
Decrypt the cosmos. I'm accurate reading. Who charts the star's orbit?
Just an hospital.
There is no
The
end.
destination is depleted, no? Give it a little water.
Calculating the Arabic parts.
Propriety von den Grenzen des Geistes.
Sacrifice holds meaning only in its morning. Life is delicate and easily lost.
With a little stock, and down it goes. Bon courage. Eliminate what is false. Now, for the true stuff.
See how they oscillate. Who charts the stars or a message from the stars? About this world.
The destination is set. It is depleted, no? Give it a little water.
Through Arcadia's sacrifice, we have reached the stars.
With a little stock, and down it goes. Bon courage. Purge the impurities. On est clair remarquable, n'est-ce pas?
An accurate reading. Through Arcadia's sacrifice, we have reached the stars. A message from the stars.
Beat it. The destination is little water. It is depleted, no?
Calculating the Arabic parts.
Up with a little stock, and down it goes. Bon courage. Eliminate what is false. Now, for the true stuff.
An accurate reading. A message from the stars. See how they oscillate. Decrypt the cosmos.
Just an hospital.
There is no end.
The destination is set. It is depleted, no? Give it a little water. It is depleted, no?
Befreie dich von den Grenzen des Geistes.
Sacrifice holds meaning only in its morning. Life is delicate and easily lost.
Up with a little stock, and down it goes. Bon courage. Purge the impurities. That's enough to light us up one day. On est clair remarquable, n'est-ce pas?
Encryption failed?